Today, I'm excited to welcome Petri Palomaa, a Bitcoin advocate all the way from Helsinki, Finland. Welcome to the Bitcoin Edge, Petri.
Nice to have me. And I'm pretty excited as I'm from Helsinki. So Finnish is my main language, English is my second language, but I just learned it from school and with YouTube. And so if I can't answer all the questions in a proper way, but we do best we can do.
Wonderful. It's just wonderful how Bitcoin connects us, whereas otherwise we would not be connected.
Yeah, that's the power of Bitcoin and social media, X, Twitter, and so.
And all it is a money and a store of value, and it's connecting us in ways I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, it is like I've been in Twitter or X since 2019, and most of the stuff I read there or write are related to Bitcoin, and I've met many people from X in live. We have a community here in Finland. We have a Bitcoin association. It's about 200 people who are members, and we have regular meetups once in a month in a restaurant. So I have had lot of new friends and new people through Bitcoin.
That's wonderful. Well, before we get to Bitcoin, tell us a little bit about Finland and what it's like there. I've always thought of Finland as a relatively stable country with healthy people and lots of nature. But tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about Finland just in general.
Finland is a small country in Nordics, next to Sweden and Russia, and we have population about 5.5 million people, and most of people live south, where Helsinki is. And in Helsinki, there is like 600,000 people, and close area is about 1 million people or a bit more. Nice size city, not too big, but not too small. We have like the Starbucks or things you have in America. Not, of course, not any, but like McDonald's and stuff like that. Uh, we have nature. I live in Helsinki, but I live next to the small river, so I have nature just 50 meters from my apartment, and I can run. And in Finland, we have 4 seasons. Summer is pretty nice, and now it's getting a bit colder, but it's still we have leaves on the trees and stuff like that. But in winter, we have 1 feet snow, and in Lapland a lot more. Summer will take like 5 months or something, and then it's spring. But yeah, we have four seasons, and summer is pretty nice, and all of them have their own characters, as you can say.
So, what led you to Bitcoin?
I was into investing like stocks and ETFs and all those things, and I was pretty interested in investing in general. And I found a podcast with one Finnish guy uh, who was running a company that sells and custody Bitcoin, and he was doing like half an hour interview, and I was thinking that, oh wow, that must be something into that. And then I just deep a little deeper, and then I find out that Bitcoin might be thing.
So, was inflation affecting you living in Finland?
Yeah, it have like after Corona, the prices went really high, like the gas in a car and electricity, everything, groceries, everything run up. Like now it's a little settled down, but it settled down like higher level than before.
Do you see many people there starting to see a need for a more decentralized currency like Bitcoin, only 21 million, no printing.
Yeah, it's like a try to explain Bitcoin to others. It's it's like a talking to the trees or something. It's like not of this world, and it's so funny that after being in Bitcoin like 5 years, every day in X or social media and YouTube and everything, everything is so clear for me. All the explanations are so simple. Government are printing money. Bitcoin is so simple explanation, but if you try to explain it to others, they don't like listen to you. It's so funny.
It's true. It's because in order to get Bitcoin across to other people, you first have to explain what money is,
Yeah.
explain a little bit of the history of central banking, and then I suppose we meet people where they are. But in one conversation, it's very hard to get Bitcoin explained to somebody, and especially to somebody who's doing quite well, earning a good salary. Have you had good luck with your friends or
I have had some luck, like my sister and some of my friends are exploring Bitcoin and had some Bitcoin. But like one story, when I was working in a supermarket, I was manager in a local grocery store supermarket. In a coffee table, I said that one was doing like those. Is it called scratches, where you can win like money prizes?
yeah.
Yeah, she was doing that, and I told her if you win like 10,000 in that scratch, and you get 10,000 money, and then you put that money in a box and you put it underground like 20 years, and then you took the money, it's still 10,000, but do you think you can buy more or less with that money? And she was said like everything is going like more expensive, so I think I can get less with that money. And I said, yes, that is exactly what happens, but it happens so slowly that people don't realize it. But in Bitcoin, it's the opposite. It's the purchasing power will grow and you can get more of your Bitcoin tomorrow what you get today. Till they don't like, yeah,
That's a great way to put it. Then I have one other problem because of the volatility, right?
yeah.
Because I've told my brother, 6 months ago, this is a good time to buy. He says, "Oh, but I'll wait for it to crash back down." um, there's that, or the volatility. If people don't understand it and they do lose 50% of their value overnight, and that upsets them, that's because they don't understand Bitcoin.
Like one of my friends, we went to restaurant like a few weeks ago, and he told me that he read some article about Bitcoin and he's maybe trying to get some. And I was saying, okay, we can do it like right now. And he said, no, 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 I will wait that the price crash. Now it's too high. And I was like, no, we are just getting to the bull market. It's just getting. And I was explaining the halving cycle, the 4 year cycle, and previous tops and downs and everything. And he was like, no, 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 the article didn't say anything about that. Like, he believed that one article more than me, who's been 5 years, like every day learning. But yeah,
And that's a good reminder that people have to get there by themselves. And without an education, it's quite hard. On your X, you have a picture of the Bitcoin standard. So I'm assume that that was quite a big influence for you. You also said you read another 20 books. So tell me a little bit about your education in Bitcoin.
yeah. I was really started learning like when the bull market began, the last one, the 2020. I was more active on X, and I was thinking that okay, there must be some books or something, and I asked, and one of my friends, Nico, runs a Bitcoin bookstore, and he said that okay, Bitcoin Standard is the best. You should start with that, and it was also in Finnish, and so that was my first book. But after that, I was like keep reading, and I have many more books. But yeah, Bitcoin Standard is like the basics. Sometimes I said that every like people between 15 and 18 when they are school they had to go one course in study economics and read the Bitcoin Standard and write article about it. It should be great to future generations.
That's true. I agree. Do you see one day that we have both fiat money, regular euro, dollar, and Bitcoin? Or do you see that it's possible we go to a full Bitcoin standard?
I think both scenarios are possible, and but it will take time. The Bitcoin Standard would be great in like 20 years, 30 years from now. But until then, I see a large adoption of like government levels and company levels and everything. So we are still many steps behind. That happens, Bitcoin price will go much higher in dollar value.
Yes. So first, it will be a store of value. It is already, Bitcoin is already used as a payments rail. Do you have the opportunity to pay in Bitcoin in Finland?
Yeah, actually, like when we have those meetups, it's restaurant Faro, and they are using Lightning payments. We can buy beers or food over there. There are some other places in Finland where you can use Bitcoin as well, and of course the online shops sometimes accept Bitcoin. But like, what was really eye-opening for me was last year's summer. I was in BTC Prague, which is I think biggest Bitcoin conference in Europe, and there was like 10,000 people in 3 days in that conference area, and actually, Michael Saylor was speaking there, and that was the reason I went there. But it was really eye-opening, like 10,000 people and everybody using Lightning and Bitcoin. All of the like the shops, like the merchants, like this, are from Bitcoin Atlantis. It was in Madeira this year, and you can just buy these shirts and use your Lightning wallet, and so easy, so simple.
That's wonderful. So, did you also go to Bitcoin Atlantis?
Yeah, I have been in four conferences. I was in Prague twice, in Madeira, and actually twice in Riga, Baltic Honey Badger as well. So in 5 times I've been in conferences.
And what did you get from those conferences? Any lessons?
You can get the lessons in like YouTube or online, but you get the atmosphere, you got the friends, you got the all the vibe that's you can't describe it. You have to like feel it yourself. And like I said, we have some kind of Bitcoin community in Finland. So we are posting on Telegram or X that who's going there, and we create private group in Telegram, and we are like going dinners together and hanging out together, and it's really good, really nice.
Yeah, it is wonderful to have a group of people who understand what you see, because for those of us who see it, it's life changing. Because once you go down that rabbit hole, you realize that once you fix the money, you fix so many things in society. You fix the incentives in the government, and it's very hard to explain unless you're an expert, but there's so much that Bitcoin improves in life. What is the biggest thing for you? What are the biggest things that you see Bitcoin changing the world?
Bitcoin gives hope, I think. It's like we are about money. You can't if you just save money in your bank account and you don't invest in anything, it just goes down in value, and it's like hopeless where you don't get enough money to like. it's a broken road. But if you have Bitcoin and you like dollar cost averaging, or if you can buy more or something, and you think that in future it will go up in value, then it's hope for us and hope for our kids, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, it's the low time preference is what you're referring to a little bit, in that when people have a money that's going down in value, so the future value of the money is worth less, that incentivizes us to spend today and become consumers and buy stuff today, because in the future, like in your example, burying it in the ground, the value of the money is worth less in the future. So it incentivizes us to spend the money today. Whereas Bitcoin goes up in value, and that incentivizes us to save and think about what we spend on today. And I don't know if everybody's aware of that. I only became aware of that in Bitcoin. But do you think regular people are aware that they're spending today because their money's going down?
It's like when you find Bitcoin or discovered Bitcoin, you it's like the first time you learn about money, or it was for me. I didn't realize money was so like what money is today, the fiat money. So it's a whole level new thinking about almost everything, like financial stuff. And when you discover that road, it's like you see it, it's so hard to unsee it. But yeah,
That's true. Once you see it, you can't go back.
yeah.
You post a lot on X, and some of them are English posts, but obviously mostly in your language. Tell us what you post about most.
The most is like the macro stuff, like the what's happening in the world, what's happening in China, what's happening in US, what's happening in elections, but all the things that like related to Bitcoin in a like macro level. And sometimes I just repost or comment other posts, like talk to flow model, or whatever people discovered. And sometimes just some family trips, or when I go to those conferences and stuff like that, and pictures. And like in conferences they have like those signing sessions, like I have Bitcoin standard and fiat standard signed by Saifedin, and we took pictures, and so it's nice to post those moments as well.
Wonderful. You reminded me before that we don't really have, we've never seen a true free market. We have had more free market when we were on the gold standard, but since 1971, it hasn't been a true deflationary free market. And so people don't know what that really looks like.
One thing I just remembered was like the Simpsons story. Like the Simpsons are 40 years old TV series, and the Homer was working in a one company. Much didn't work. They had two kids. They had house, two cars, and it was considered like normal in America. And now both parents are working sometimes two or three jobs to just keeping up, and something changed in like in America, and but in Finland as well. So even if you get raise every year like 2%, 3%, 4%, but everything prices goes up more, you actually have less money to spend that year than last year. And
That's true. And you mentioned during COVID, that's when I realized how much, and it hasn't really come down. And I saw that in Finland, the inflation rate is around 7%. Do you think it's actually higher than that?
it's hard to measure because something's gone up a lot and something is a bit less. But It sounds about right.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened to me. I realized, and since learning Bitcoin, especially if you're doing something you don't enjoy and you keep doing it and you work hard, you have two cars, you have the life, and then you realize, but you're just on a treadmill. And Bitcoin gets a lot of people off that treadmill. So a lot of people who either aren't enjoying their work or have seen the pain of trying to do the right thing, save money, and not have enough, they're likely to come to Bitcoin and at least learn about it.
I was working 28 years in that one company. This spring, it was actually the day of the halving. It was my last day at my last job, and now I'm still on my summer holiday and, well, finding something to work with Bitcoin in the future.
Wonderful. So you're looking to work in Bitcoin.
Yeah, we have a project like the Swiss Hodler, which was your guest, I think.
Yes.
We met in Prague, and he actually came to Finland as well, and it's good friend of mine now and friend in X. He has like his own company, and the side project is like the Bitfluencers and 21 Bitfluencers, and there is group of people, I think 14, 15 people are starting to marketing Bitcoin in X and YouTube and other places, and it's Bitcoin only, no shitcoins or altcoins, nothing like that. But it can be good because there is like many people in different skills levels, and if we can get some fire to that, it might be something in the future.
Yeah, it's a wonderful idea. And I also had on Anya Schutz, and she has Bitvocation that places people in Bitcoin jobs. So
Yeah.
that's also worth looking into. Petri, do you still invest in the stock market and in other investments? I assume you don't invest in altcoins, but do you still invest in other things?
After last bull run 2021, was thinking then that Bitcoin price will go higher, and I didn't sell any Bitcoin or anything, and I was thinking that the cycle will last a bit longer and the price will go a bit higher. It never went. It came to bear market, and it went down about 30,000 or something like that. And then I realized that this is really good buying opportunity, and I actually sold all my stocks and everything else and bought more Bitcoin. So I don't actually have anything else investment. Like, I own my apartment, or I still have a little bit mortgage left, but it's mostly mine, and then it's Bitcoin. But that's basically it.
That's wonderful. I mean, you listen to people like Michael Saylor and many smart people, and it's very hard to beat Bitcoin on any investment. And as Jeff Booth says, every asset is coming down when priced in Bitcoin. Housing is coming down priced in Bitcoin. On a long enough time frame, everything comes down. It's hard because I've been taught diversify, diversify. I've
Yeah,
also heard diversify, which but it's very hard to beat Bitcoin once you understand it. And also it's less things to worry about, right? You can put your money in Bitcoin
yeah,
in your own self custody. You can be your own bank and just leave it there and then do what you love.
exactly. After this bull run, if the price goes down enough or too much, then I can always sell my apartment, go for a rent, get some more Bitcoin, and just keep stacking.
Wonderful. You're truly committed.
Yeah.
Do you Do you think price is important? What I try to do, I know price matters to a lot of people, and I try to think of in Bitcoin more and more. What would my apartment be priced in Bitcoin? Beer priced in Bitcoin, that kind of thing. Do you focus a lot on price?
Uh, yes and no, because I know eventually the price will go up, so the number goes up and goes through this volatility and it goes through these cycles, but we don't know which cycle will be like the last one. Like there's so much happening in the world right now. Like in the last cycle, there wasn't ETFs, there wasn't this money printing easing. I think the rate cuts and what happens to China, what happens in the world. Like we didn't know that Bhutan was mining 14,000 bitcoins. I don't remember when El Salvador did the thing, but like if some bigger countries will adopt Bitcoin the same way. So there is so many things that happens that we just don't know if this will be like the ball run or or what happens in the future.
That's very true. That's why for many people, it's just best to dollar cost average. Learn the cycle. Obviously, it's good to buy in the bear market. For me, moving over to the Bitcoin way is a much more fairer. It's a much better way of life, and it's going to be better for the whole world.
And like I have three kids, they are 10, 13, and 15, and the middle one is really into Bitcoin. Like, do you know this Lina Size's book, The
Yes,
Little Holder?
wonderful.
I got this in one of, I think it was one of Christmas presents or something. And then I have a hobby to collect these little holders.
Oh, those are wonderful.
Yeah, they are from the one was in BTC Prague and one I bought straight from Peter McCormack in. It was in Prague as well. So you know the uh, Real Bedford and Peter Cormac's company. It's a football club in Britain.
Yes, yes. And are your children Bitcoiners
Uh,
learning about it?
yeah, yeah, they are. And I have also like children's books in English, and they sometimes read them. And she knows more. She knows more about Bitcoin than the average person, like her teachers or any.
The best book so far has been The Little Hodler for the children.
For the children. Yes,
Yeah.
it's but still like a book that kids don't understand if you don't explain it because it's all about the monetary thing and like how the banks work and everything and because kids don't know those things but when you figure it out it's very clever. I really like Lina's eyes.
And not all kids are interested in that. But it's good to get the seeds planted because when they start earning their money, they might be more interested in it.
Yeah, and the last cycle I promised that when Bitcoin hits 100k we do some really nice family trip to somewhere warm place. It never did. It never came true, but I think this cycle we will hit that 100k and we will go to some nice place, Madeira or some islands somewhere.
Nice. It's wonderful to celebrate, and they know it's related to Bitcoin. You are planting the seeds for them.
Yeah, and it's like the Bitcoin is like a hobby. I like to collect things. I like to collect books, clothing. I have Bitcoin snowboard, and it's all reminds me about how the world will change in the future. And a bit proud that I'm still so early, or I figure it out by myself, and hopefully bringing like the brighter future for my kids.
You certainly are. And we are still
Yeah.
early in the adoption. So, besides Bitcoin, what else are you passionate about?
Um, I like to run uh, with my friend. I like to travel, snowboarding in the winter time, be with my friends, and of course the kids' hobbies keeping me busy. Like they're playing basketball and soccer and some musical stuff.
And I see you have some beautiful nature pictures with your kids.
Oh, that's actually painted by my grandfather. Did that?
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, and I can show the books. All the Bitcoin books are there in a
I
over
love
there.
it.
Yeah,
So, do you think Bitcoin is in any way related to a better environment?
better to environment.
Yeah, better world.
Yes, in all the ways. I think like it can help like the energy things, like what happened in Texas. They have like a huge Bitcoin mining grid, and then they can sell the energy to the people. And when the people need more energy, they can use the mining company for so they have this. I don't know really the word in English, but like the different level of consumption, it keeps
Yeah,
the price down. You mentioned the Norway. They had they banned Bitcoin mining in, I don't know if it was some city or whole Norway, but they had to shut down like big Bitcoin mining grid, and after they shut it down, the energy price went like 20-30% higher, and the people were complaining because it was like productive thing.
interesting. So, Bitcoin was keeping the energy price down because
Yes.
Bitcoin uses energy that's not being used. It doesn't use energy that's needed.
Yeah. Like one of my friends have a company that Bitcoin mining to like housing level. So if you have electricity that you heat your house, they are putting the Bitcoin mining in the middle, and they are mining Bitcoin and heating the house. So it cuts the costs of housing.
Yeah, and they're using Bitcoin now in Africa to bring electricity to people. There are a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of good uses for it. Yeah.
yeah. Do you know Anita Porsche?
Yes.
Yeah, he, I met him in Riga, Baltic, and he had like 40-minute session with the Bitcoin in Africa, and I also got her book and I read it, and it's really making difference there. And I think Bitcoin is even bigger thing in like the not so developing countries where they are like huge inflation, and Bitcoin fixes there like it making huge effect people over there.
Yes, it is. So, speaking of that, what does freedom mean to you?
Freedom is like government doesn't tell you what you do and what you don't do. Like the horror picture of freedom is like the digital yuan in China, or digital euros or something like that. That government can see everything you do, or they can put like time limits that you have to spend this money or it goes away, or they can rate you that okay, you have been in restaurant 3 last weekends, you can't spend money in a restaurant, you have to spend it somewhere else, or something like that. I think Finland is like quite free, country, but still we have some issues.
And do you think that could happen where the
I think
digital
the
euro?
EU are planning it and afraid it might happen. Not really soon or what level or what, but it's possible, I think.
It certainly is possible, and it starts slowly and it can creep up on us. So having Bitcoin is a wonderful way to be self sovereign.
Yes, it does.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Petri.
Okay, how was my English?
Wonderful. Imagine me trying to speak Finnish. You
Yeah,
did wonderful. Thank
yeah.
you.
Okay, yeah, it was nice to be here. Okay, see you on X.